Now let's talk about Prague turning into America.
We continue to follow breaking news out of the Czech Republic's capital city of Prague.
That's right. Authorities confirming a gunman has killed at least 15 people and injured dozens of others at a university. Police are also confirming that the suspected gunman is dead. The shooting was at Charles University, which is located in a square in the city's downtown area.
Now, that area has been evacuated and sealed off. Police have yet to give specific information about the victims and the precise circumstances of the shooting. Let's find out more now from our CBS News correspondent, Elaine Cobb. Elaine, walk us through what we do know as of this moment before police fill us in on exactly what happened.
Well, Errol, the police chief has in fact just said that 15 people are dead. So the death toll has gone up from that initial figure. So 15 people killed in this shooting spree. And it happened at the university in central Prague. And the police also say that they believe the shooter was a student of the arts faculty there. Students and teachers hid where they could on the campus. The philosophy department was evacuated. There were
is this photo for real? I saw it being circulated online of like students like getting outside and hiding. And for the chatters asking, like, why is this global news? The reason why it's global news is because this doesn't happen, okay? This happens in America all the time. This doesn't happen in other places.
Warnings going out, and a lot of students on social media saying, we're hiding, we're barricaded inside, we don't know what's going on. Others spoke about getting off the tram just beside the university and suddenly hearing shooting, unaware of what might be happening. And don't forget that in this pre-Christmas season, Prague is a huge tourism destination because it's famous for its Christmas markets. And so potentially a lot of people around and a lot of people worried about what's happening as it's been evacuated. But the police have confirmed that the shooter was killed.
And Elaine, we're now hearing that Reuters is reporting as well that the shooter's father was also found dead. Obviously, this is breaking news. There's a lot to still figure out. In the meantime, tell us about the area where police are responding.
Well, the Charles University is in the center of Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, and it is part of the old town. People spoke about hearing shooting right in the center, seeing someone firing towards the bridge. One eyewitness said he saw a man with a large weapon firing, and then he dropped the weapon to the ground beside that central bridge. Now, it leads to the old town, which is a hugely popular tourist area. And of course, Prague is a big university town as well, so there are always students around, and it's coming up to the end of classes before the Christmas break. So there would have been a lot of people around finishing up, wrapping up their studies before they head away, or partying, preparing to party for the weekend. And so this is something that is going to give them a big shock. And the Czech Republic is not used to shootings. There have been two mass shootings in the last 10 years, just to give you an idea of how rare it is.
Well, Elaine, I want to follow up on that because as we watch this breaking news unfold from the States, you know, mass shootings here are just all too common. They happen here more frequently than anywhere else in the world. But from what you've just said, only 2 shootings like this in the Czech Republic in the past decade suggests that this is
Oh my God, I'm fucking muted. God damn it. From an American point of view, the crazy part isn't that a mass shooting happened. The crazy part is that a mass shooting is that rare. That's the wild part. That's why the CBS News anchor is like, wow, it's crazy how rare this is. It's incredible. Once every Once every 2 years? Unimaginable. Unimaginable. U.S. 2 mass shootings an hour? It's like, yeah, we got fucking, it's like 2, I thought they said 2 every 10 years. No, that's what I'm saying. It happened twice in a decade. It's like once every 5 years. Is crazy.
Is an extremely rare occurrence and even that more jarring for people there.
Absolutely. And with the time of year, it's something that comes as a shock. People are preparing for Christmas festivities. They're buying presents.
Fun fact, Czechia has the most liberal gun laws in Europe. Very similar to the ones in the U.S. I doubt it. There is 0% chance that any country on the European continent has as loose gun laws as the United States of America. Switzerland has the most guns per capita in Europe, and yet Switzerland, and by the way, I've talked about this quite a bit before the fucking Johnny Harris video. All you Johnny Harris watchers out there who are going to come in here and like try to spit fucking facts at me. Yes, something that I've talked about quite a bit is that Switzerland has the most guns per capita in Europe. Okay? However, their gun laws are incredibly strict, and understandably so. As far as the Czech Republic goes, I highly doubt that they don't have gun laws in the same way that we don't have gun laws here in the United States of America, where you can just like go to whatever the fucking Czech Walmart is, okay? Walmartu, and then fucking go and buy an AR-15. There's no shot. Whatever they have in Czech Republic, like fucking Tesco, Aldi, whatever, you know? So you have to remember that. 1 million guns for 10 million-ish population is high, but you have to remember something. First of all, United States of America has more guns than people. So that's one. More guns in circulation than fucking people. Number two, the United States of America doesn't just have a lot of guns. They also have no restrictions whatsoever. You're out of your mind. There's no other developed nation on the fucking planet that plays as fast and loose with a weapon that is built specifically to kill people, especially versions of said weapon that is specifically designed to kill multiple people with ease. That's not a thing, guys, okay? No, that's not a thing. Plenty of places around the planet, in many countries, you can shoot a gun. You can even acquire a gun. But there are severe restrictions involved. Understandable regulations involved with the maintenance of a gun license to be able to go and get a gun. That's crazy. Okay? To think that like it would be anywhere near America's level of fucking mania is psychotic and wrong.
They're going to the Christmas markets that are so famous in Prague, and all the students would have been preparing to.
Anyway, here, I'm gonna skip it over to BBC. I want to hear their
That's
perspective.
Breaking news story from the Czech Republic. Authorities
I
there
gotta pee
say
real
that more
quick.
than 15 people have been killed after.
Shut your ass up, bet you have armed security, says Gunslinger 04. First of all, I got my fucking bare arms right here, bitch boy. Let me tell you something, okay? Hey! Tell you something. An armed society is a polite society, motherfucker. Don't fucking come at me with this shit. That's number one. Number two, I never said you shouldn't be able to have a gun, you dumb fuck. I'm simply stating that guns are very fucking dangerous, okay? They're very fucking dangerous. and you shouldn't be waving them around willy-nilly. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guns are very fucking dangerous. You cannot just go out and fucking purchase a firearm. Okay? You need a license. At the very least, our way of being able to acquire a weapon should resemble the way that we fucking get a driver's license. Actually fucking bullshit that we don't have that. That's crazy to me. You need at least character witnesses that could be held liable. You need a psych assessment. And on top of that, you need to be able to demonstrate that you know how to fucking shoot it and you know how to maintain it and you know proper safety measures. And if you fail that test, you can't have a license. You have to try again. And those licenses you have to renew. Okay? It's absolutely crazy to me that we don't even have that shit. Your argument sounds more compelling when you're waving the handgun. Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Honestly, it should be harder to both get a driver's license as well as a gun. Fine.
A shooting at a university in Prague. Many others were injured, some seriously. We believe the number of injured now stands at around 24. Well, police say the shooter's body was also found at the scene by police. Let's take you live now to the latest. Darkness has well and truly fallen on Prague, but the police are still very much out in force. And our journalist who is there told us that many areas around the university are still cordoned off by police who are advising people to stay away. At a press conference earlier, police confirmed the shooter was a student at the university's Faculty of Arts at Charles University, where the incident happened. Now, the university is near a very famous tourist site, the 14th century Charles Bridge. It's at the heart of historic Prague, just a stone's throw from the old town square. Now, Prague, as we know, is very popular with tourists throughout the year, but it's the Christmas markets and the Christmas season where it really sees the number of tourists increasing. And we spoke to a few people earlier on in the programme who were there on holiday. The BBC have also spoken to a couple who were in Prague on their honeymoon who said that they were told by police to get down and to get away as quickly as possible. Now, when the event happened, police evacuated the building and they warned the people around the area, the Jan Palach Square, to stay away. Now, the Interior Minister has been speaking. He's been reassuring people that there is no imminent danger anymore and that this is not connected to international terrorism in any way. The Czech President, Petr Pavel, has expressed his shock and sent his condolences. And the Czech Prime Minister has said that all future events have been cancelled in light of these tragic events. We know that this shooting is the biggest mass shooting seen in modern Czech history. There was a gun attack back in 2019, which killed 4 men and 2 women. That time, a man opened fire at a trauma clinic waiting room in another part of the Czech Republic. But since then, nothing of this size or anywhere near this size has happened. And gun crime in the Czech Republic are very, very rare indeed. I've been speaking to a number of journalists and they have all confirmed this. So,
Chart showing support for various gun control measures, all supported by majority. Only NRA/Republicans stop them. How to prevent gun deaths, where experts in the public agree. Yeah. There are incredibly broad, very popular support for a shit ton of gun safety measures. The problem is, however, we can't pass any of them. We can't pass a single one. And it's not necessarily just because of the fucking NRA, okay? It's not just the NRA. The NRA is simply an expression of, like, how fucking hog-like the American population is, okay? But as we found out with abortion restrictions, popularity of an idea or how sound it is doesn't necessarily matter all too much to those in fucking power, which is ironic because motherfuckers love talking about guns because they're going to use it against tyrannical oppressors. Okay? They love being like, oh, I got to have my gun because otherwise how else can I thwart a tyrannical dictatorship when it fucking happens? And then they don't even recognize that we are under that oppressive structure right now, dumb fuck. The point is, we don't have a fucking real democratic process on anything. All it takes is a couple goddamn Republicans to be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Suck my dick. Okay? That's it. That's literally it. Isn't that the reason why January 6th happened, though? What? I don't know what you mean by that, but it is pretty funny to think that, like, January 6th happened because, Americans rose up against an oppressive dictatorship. What if gun owners had to pass a test? Czech Republic offers an answer. So, in the Czech Republic, you have 30 multiple choice questions, 40 minutes, how to properly mark X on the answer sheet. Then you order phones away, only pen and paper. In the Czech Republic, this is part of how you obtain a gun. The test had all the tedious marks of a high school exam down to the motivational poster on the wall saying, I will. And for 40 minutes, 3 of mine had already failed, ushered out the door as others went on to later stages in the exam in which they had to prove the ability to handle a weapon safely and shoot accurately. As one of the other aspects. The test, personally, is what you need. Czech lawmakers and gun owners say this national system dramatically increases the odds of responsible ownership. The rules also require a health clearance and a background check and demand safe storage of weapons once they're purchased. In a country more populous than New York City, there were 7 homicides using guns during all of last year. The test is obligatory for anybody who wants a weapon, including hunters, collectors, and even some inheriting a shotgun from a grandfather. The standards are high. The test consists of questions randomly drawn from a pool of 501 possible. Those trying to obtain the hard-to-get license for concealed carry can miss no more than one question. The failure rate is around 40%. Okay? Practice lessons aren't mandatory, but without it, you have a minimal chance of passing. There's a government app and a website where people can study up for the written part of the exam. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. That is a necessity. Okay? That should be the only way that you can approach this subject matter. It blows my mind that this is completely and utterly unimaginable. Okay? It's just not even a thing here in the United States of America. You don't need any of this shit in most places. I hate it. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it other than what I've said time and time again. There's a reason why this is a uniquely American phenomena. There's a reason why America's the only country where this happens with the great frequency that it happens.
As you can see from those live pictures, police and ambulances still very much at the scene. One person who was also at the scene was Professor Sergei Medvedev. He was inside the Charles University building in Prague when the shooting happened. He described the experience to me.
So I was in the auditorium. I was giving a lecture at the moment. And we first didn't quite realize what happened because there were some sounds. Well, the students, I think, heard it better because I was so much concentrated on my talking, on my lecture. Then we stayed in the auditorium. We understood that something big is happening. There was nothing online yet. Nothing in the Czech press and the networks. And then at some point, the special operation troops, went storming in. They searched the room briefly and then went out. After which they told us to stay inside. So I understood that something big has happened. And then there was some shooting. Probably there was already shooting by the police forces, liquidating the shooter himself. And then we stayed inside. We stayed away from the doors. We barricaded the door. We put all the, desks against the door. We turned off the lights. We didn't stay close to the windows. And then 1 hour later, another police squad broke in and then put us on the floor, briefly searched us, and then evacuated from the building. So we're now in the neighboring concert hall called the Rudolfinum. And so we're all assembled here and our documents checked and we're waiting for further developments.
Professor, how frightening was that to have to barricade yourselves in that lecture room for a whole hour before you knew what was happening and you knew that you could get out?
Yeah, we barricaded ourselves in the classroom, and it was absolutely terrifying. Also, the photo of students on the roof is real. One of my friends was there. That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe the fright will come later. I wasn't really frightened at the moment. Also, when they're students, you feel responsibility. So you're really thinking about the people for whom you're responsible for. No, it was more like, calm curiosity. I didn't know about the human loss then. So maybe it will dawn on me later. As we were evacuated, and we were walking on the stairs, and there's this historic marble stairs there, and they're all splashed with blood. There was lots of blood on the stairs, and I wouldn't say I saw the dead bodies, but I see the crutches. Probably there were bodies on the crutches, so probably they were already evacuated by then. And then we were briskly evacuated from the building.
That must have been just horrible to see that as you were walking down those stairs.
You know what? In the moment that it is happening,
I think when you say, I know this is impossible to prove, but everyone knows it's American culture being exported tragically. No, man. When you have guns, there's going to be a fucking mass shooting, no matter what happens. Like, the likelihood that there will be gun violence when you have guns is obviously higher. The difference is, it's not about like eliminating every single instance of gun violence. You can't do that. That's not how laws work. It's never a perfect world. You're never perfectly safe. The goal is to make sure you can prevent as many instances of gun violence as possible. So I don't know if this is a unique one-off, right? Or if it's becoming more and more a reality for European countries due to like American culture, anything like that. But the thing is, most countries, unlike the United States of America, abso-fucking-lutely do take additional measures when things like this happen to ensure that it never happens again. Okay? That's the whole point. Just like, for example, many of the measures that are implemented all around the world that basically create hurdles in front of gun ownership are not necessarily created so you can literally eliminate gun ownership in general, okay? And destroy gun violence in its entirety. That's not going to happen. That's like impossible. As long as there is any gun out there in circulation, the likelihood that that gun will be used inappropriately is it increases dramatically in comparison to not having a gun at all. But when you add additional hurdles, no matter how silly, like the security theater that TSA brings, right? Doesn't actually have to have an incredibly effective measure at like genuinely stopping acts of terror. The security theater in that moment makes it harder because you have to work around it. And many people don't want to take that step. The easier, the less barriers there are to gun ownership, the easier it is for someone on a fucking whim to go out and purchase a gun and do something crazy with it. People forget how much nuisances and like additional restrictions genuinely stop as broad a swath of the population as possible. People don't realize that. It's not about actually just perfectly working 100% of the time. It's about decreasing the likelihood that it could happen. It's never going to eradicate it in its entirety until you liquidate every gun inside of a border, inside of a boundary, right? That's it. So that's also interesting. We have very strict gun laws. This is the 9th mass shooting since 1989, and 4 of them happened in the last 4 years. Yeah. I'm in Jersey. I want a gun, but not more than I want to go through the rigmarole of getting a gun in New Jersey. Exactly. It stops a lot of people from getting a fucking weapon because they don't want to go through it. Suicide is a perfect example of this, which is ironically, of course, in a very sad, very tragic way, a big part of the gun deaths in this country, right? Suicide is a perfect example of this. The harder you make it, the less likely people will do it. They don't always find a way. And yet there are still people who do, right? But suicide prevention, specifically for veterans in this country, if you want to understand how fucked the situation is, we don't have good, adequate mental health treatment for our veterans in this country, many of them riddled with PTSD. So what is our biggest suicide prevention for veterans? Oh, the Veterans Affairs actually releases an ad around the holidays for every suicidal vet to see when they're watching Twitch at the top of the fucking hour and there's a 3-minute ad being served that shows you that sells you or gives you for free a lock that you can put on your gun safe. Because in those 30 seconds that you are unlocking, fiddling around with your fucking lock, you contemplate whether or not you should do it. The ad also features a photo of your children or your loved ones inside of the gun case, so you have to look at them before you go on with the act of killing yourself. That's insanely fucking dark. Okay? Not as dark as basically doing a segue through that, but I'm all out. I'm out of fucking kindness on this issue. I've talked about this so many fucking times. Anyway, we're going to move on from this story into our guest segment with Brace Belden, formerly known as Piss Pick Granddad, formerly known as the Gourmand, in a second. But before I do that, here's the 3-minute ad break now. We are going to be talking about Jeffrey Jebediah Epstein. The people against gun control are often the most affected by its violence. Yes. Yes, the real Racial Jake, fellas. The real Racial Jake is here. Giving him a call now. Hello.
Hasan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear, my friend. All right. Wait, I could, and now I can't. What the fuck happened?
That's all you. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there's
Okay,
a sound booth?